doing an informative Kayn game on the PvE. We are playing patch 13.20. Oh, 1 second. Almost caught myself there. We're not going to be taking Blue Smite because Blue Smite ate some pretty big nerfs. But Red Smite practically went unchanged aside from the fact that you cannot proc it with Smite anymore. But a lot of people were over-exaggerating on how big the nerfs are. I read through it, and I don't think that they are that big. If anything, I actually think Kayn will benefit a lot from this, because in the lower elos, you're going to find a lot more success from the mid to late game. In higher elo, you're going to find a lot more success in early game. That's why a lot of high elo junglers will lean towards water walking, because water walking is quite OP. As you could guys see, we've already started a bit of a change. Dark Harvest and Electrocute got pretty significant changes to its scaling. Stronger early, but pretty bad scaling. First Strike only went down by 1%, which is pretty good in my eyes. Taste of Blood got nerfed. We never really used that. But we're going to be doing the new changes. By the way, we're not going to be starting Raptors because they actually nerfed the Raptor start. They made Raptors easier to clear later on and a little bit more value in terms of XP. But, yeah, early game, I'm just going to ignore it. Probably just going to do your standard full clear. I'm going to go from bot to top, see where we go. And as you can see, we have a much different setup. First Strike, Domination, Red Smite, and instead of going Deathblade, we're also going to be going Yumus. And we're also going to have practically infinite mana in the jungle, so there's not really any reason to ever get a tier item anymore. The Dragons also just got a pretty significant nerf. Nerf to the early, but stronger late. So the Dragon Souls are more powerful, but the Dragons themselves are pretty weak. Except for Chemtech, which oddly enough didn't get changed whatsoever on both sides of the spectrum, so I'm kind of confused as to why they did that. But either way, we're going to be doing our full clear. As you can see, everything's looking pretty normal. Everything seems so good so far. And yeah, our Smite did get nerfed a little bit, but not for your first clear, believe it or not. Your first clear, it did not get nerfed. It actually should be a little bit faster, if I'm correct, as opposed to what I initially thought would be a pretty hard nerf. It actually is going to be a significant nerf to your early mid, but not your early. Early is going to be fine, and your mid's going to be fine. Because once you get your tier 3 Smite, it's all made up for.
Karasmai wave.
Oh, Zaxian, thanks you for that resub. As you can see, look at my clear speed. This is everything that no one thought would be possible. Everything that no one thought would be plausible. This is, as you can tell, the PvE, and I'm playing on 13.20, and nothing that I was told to be worried about or to be fearful about is actually true in my opinion, because I think jungle is actually, I wouldn't say stronger, but I think that there's actually more potential. It's just getting away the snowball. It's more so putting more emphasis on, you know, separating early and mid game, and making early game be very strong, and then making your mid game be very strong. But that early mid in between time is getting a nerf. That's basically what they're getting at. And as you can see, my HP is pretty, I mean, I'd use my pot. It's nothing too end of the worldy, but 311, perfect full clear, everything's fine. I have my E, I can get a little bit more sustain. I can wait for Scuttle, I could look for a gank here. Basically no problems. We're gonna look for a gank on Morgana here. Also, Morgana jungle got buffed, so I might try that out just to kind of see how that goes. This guy got the first strike proc, so I'm a little bit hesitant on how I want to fight him. Nice. Nice. Nice, get the first strike gold. Get the kill, get the treasure hunter. Now we go get the bottom scuttle. Yeah, they did not actually nerf the scuttle early game. They nerfed it mid to late game. They made scuttle a little bit tankier. Not that they nerfed it as in it gives less value. They just made it a little bit tankier for the mid to late game. So it kind of just enables more fighting, more scrapping, which is fine. The only thing you do have to be careful of is with the, you know, Dark Harvest and Electrocute getting nerfed. I think first strike, you really have to be adamant on getting that first strike to proc, so that's gonna help you out a lot in those early fights. But as you can see, so far everything seems pretty chill in the jungle. And you know what the funny thing is that Kane could actually force mid game. This is kind of a hidden fact about Kane, is that Kane can force the direction of the game way harder than any other jungler due to his high mobility with his E. So I could actually force the mid game. And this is where it gets even weirder, is that they nerfed Duskblade pretty hard. Maybe not hard enough to make everybody get off of it. I think it's still going to be used by some people. I don't think it's that bad. I'll definitely make a video going over it. It's definitely still usable. But for the buffs that they gave Yumus, which is what I was going to talk about, which will actually make it so you snowball harder and faster, it is kind of confusing and a little bit perplexing that they would actually choose to nerf Dustblade and that they would choose to do all these changes, because I actually think Kayn will be one of the junglers that will benefit the most from these changes. Some junglers, they're not going to do so well. Some junglers with a little bit, you know, less healthier sustain. Some junglers with like, you know, problems getting towards that mid game. It's the early mid, you know, if you're not a jungler that can navigate really well through that, I can see it being quite, you know, uncomfortable for you. And you can see that I'm kind of slowing down in my clear here, which is fine. I think that how fast you start clearing as you start getting more and more items is kind of absurd. So I'm glad that they're kind of slowing that down. But as you can see, if you have a successful early game, you're still going to find a lot of benefit. By the way, the minion XP, when you share minion XP, got gutted pretty hard early on, but the scaling on it went down pretty hard. So like 0% post 20 minutes. So splitting is a little bit more incentivized. But as you can see, I've not ran out of mana a single time. I haven't even gotten close to running out of mana. They gave you practically infinite mana in the jungle, which I was kind of confused about. They already regen bonus mana in the jungle, just as a jungler with Smite. But then they kind of just were like, hey, we'll give you more. And not too many people noticed that. It was kind of an undersight by a lot of people. Yeah, I barely get any value out of these minions right now, so I'm not even gonna like tax those. Taxing is kind of nerfed, but you know, here's another thing, that they nerfed taxing for junglers to laners, but they also nerfed taxing from laners to junglers. They made it a lot harder for them to take your camps. Now, do I think that your laners are still gonna take your camps? Probably. Probably, yeah. Yeah, I think so. They're probably still gonna do that, right? But, I mean, I think it's a good trade-off. You know, some junglers are still going to take lane CS, even though it's way less valued early on. But some will stop. Same with some laners will stop taking jungle camps, which is good. Good. We love to hear that. Your schedule should be a little bit bulkier here, so it's going to be a little bit longer to take. I'm going to be paying very close attention to how long it takes per outing. But look, this is pretty fast. This is pretty fast, regardless. Maybe I can get a kill here, hopefully. Don't know if it's going to die here or not. Use that. Flash. Oh, that stinks. Really wanted to get the kill there so I can get some orbs, but it's fine. Look at that XP I just got from those minions. I got like, what, 1% off 3 minions? Pretty gross. Pretty gross. Alright, now we just clear our camps again. So, yeah, the whole thing about them nerfing, they also nerfed the Rift. The Rift used to give you like 200 gold, now it gives you like 100 gold. So they nerfed the gold on that. So early objectives not need to be taken. Once again, is good for Kayn, because Kayn typically in the early game without his form is the weaker jungler. So being the weaker jungler, you usually look to give early objectives. Now early objectives give less value, which means that you have more time to stall, more time to scale, and in that scaling you snowball harder, and you have an item that just got buffed that helps you snowball way harder. Yeah, that's why I think Kayn is going to be a really good jungler next patch, genuinely. And as you can see, I'm pretty ahead of Viego. If you want Sick Dragon, you can take it. It's pretty low valued. The actual stats that you get out of it now is pitiful. Pitiful at best. Still gonna max Q. Still gonna max Q. Yeah, we could honestly maybe take Rift, but here's another thing is that they nerfed plates. So them nerfing plates means that not only do they nerf the Rift Gold, but they also nerf the Plate Gold. So Rift isn't really that incentivized to take either. So this is where like pathing and going for invading and all this stuff be really, really valuable. Which is why I'm so confused, because like all the things that Kayn is like strongest at is all the things that they're making like more playable or viable. Trading objectives for camps is awesome. Okay, bot lane died. Okay, gotta ult him before he goes over that wall. Kill him before he flashes over there. Maybe gank top here. I will probably wind up going for the kill on Maokai. Oops, I missed that. My bad. Alright, so now I'm gonna get Yumu's. That's good. Sadly, I think I'm gonna wind up getting my red form first, which is not that good, but we should be fine. Probably gonna wind up putting a control ward on the Rift here, I suppose. Actually, no, that's a good control ward spot. Never mind. I'll put normal ward on the Rift. Alright. Another cool thing about taking Inspiration Tree is that you get First Strike, Futures Market, all these beautiful things. I love taking like Futures Market. I just haven't been using it as much because it did get nerfed a little bit for the early game, but it also got buffed for the mid to late game, which is also what we're playing for with Youmuu's. So notice how everything's just kind of falling perfectly into line for Kayn to be a S tier champion again in the jungle. Assassin Kayn, that is. I'm not sure about Red Kayn. We'll probably play Red Kayn. I'll probably let you guys know how I feel about that. But yeah, Assassin Kayn will be amazing. Right here, I don't want to look too forceful just because I don't have my ulti. Good to not be that aggressive without ulti. I could kind of stall this play out for my ulti to come up, but till then, I'm just going to chill. Vex can kind of go in here if he wants, so I'm down. Nice, that's good. Get a stun on this guy, that's good as well. Get that W off. Vex gets the re-engage, get some more blue orbs out of this. I'm just going to fight her. Nice, that's good. And you actually, oh wow, I got my blue form first there. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Well, as I was going to say, you actually get more value out of, or no, less value from doing Dragon with your teammates because you actually tank the same amount. Before you used to get damage reduction when your teammates were around, two or more teammates were around, but now you don't get any damage reduction. So that's kind of interesting that they added that. So you don't necessarily need your team for the objectives. I mean, it used to help out a little bit, but I never really noticed too much. I don't think that's going to be too big of a deal. All right, well, because we are the specialist on snowballing, one of the best things to snowball with is a lot of mobility. And we have blue smite. Oh no, not blue smite. We have Youmuu's, and we're gonna get blue buff spawns, and we're gonna get what do I need? Oh yeah, we have our boots. Youmuu's boots, and Youmuu's got a massive buff. I think he got buffed by like 4 lethality flat, and I think 8 or 7 or 8 mid to late, which is pretty good. Here, I'm gonna look for this guy right here. Oh wow. Really botched that dive. What the hell happened to that guy? He broke. He got the kill and he broke. But yeah, we're just going to zoom around. Oh yeah, what I was going to say is that a lot of people are probably going to think, okay, with this much mobility, when you want blue smite? Blue smite got pretty significant nerfs. Red smite pretty much went unaffected. The only thing is you can't proc it off your smite anymore, but I think it's pretty good. Yo, Aye, thanks for the raid. Appreciate that so much. Buddy raid. Yo! Thank you for the raid. Appreciate that so much. Hope you had a fantastic stream. Going over the PvE changes right now. What does Youmuu's do now? Same thing as it's always done. Speeds you up, gives you a lot of mobility, but on having it fully procced, which I do right now, it will give you a lot more lethality, which is great. And a lot more lethality will synergize a lot with some other items I have, like the Axiom Arc, which works based off your percent lethality. And the percent lethality is given when you have it fully procced. So here's another thing that's synergizing perfectly. The Futures Market, the First Strike, the Magical Footwear, the high mobility, the high lethality. Oh yeah, no, you're gonna be going crazy because like I mentioned, Kayn doesn't have to worry about that early mid phase. He goes early and then he goes mid. That's how Kayn works. Kind of a disgusting champion to think about. So if you're able to snowball, you're gonna actually find more success, more fun in this new patch, in this new changes. The change that everyone thought was the end of the world. Jungle's ruined. Jungle's ruined. We can't play anymore. Well, I think that's wrong. Jungle's going to be a little bit harder for me in high elo, because in high elo, all the early game buffs to water walking, respawn timers. By the way, you do respawn faster now. For whenever you die, you will respawn faster, so you don't get as punished for deaths. But, 1 second, let me kill this guy. Alright, nice. Ow. So things like that will be pretty oppressive to play against in high elo, but other than that, we should be fine. And then for lower elo, mid to late game got buffed. This was a very interesting patch. It's probably one of my favorite reads I've went through, where I was like very intrigued by what Riot was actually going for. So now that we have our tier 3 smite, we have no problem farming camps. No problem whatsoever. Farming camps is 100% easy to do. It's 100% fine to do. There's no problem whatsoever. It's mostly that time period between your first clear and your tier 3 smite. But now, as you can see, we're clearing like no other. Everything's back to normal. Everything's perfect. Everything's fine. And at this point, the minion XP is going way down. It's going to go all the way down to 0% and 20, so there's going to be no problemo. And we're going to get our Axiom Marker, we're going to get some components for it, and we're going to keep snowballing. That's the thing that I don't get about what Riot's doing, is that I was supposed to believe this is a jungle nerf, but I don't think it's a jungle nerf at all. At all. to be honest. I don't think there's anything about this that screams jungle nerf. Because if anything, it puts more incentive into your camps. If you're a farming jungle, you're going to want to farm more. And you will get benefits for farming more the faster you do it, right? And look at, guys, have I gotten close to running out of mana once this game? Once this game? Look at that mana regen. Like, per camp, that's crazy. The lower you are in mana, the faster you, like, that's pretty crazy. I don't know. That's pretty crazy. You just have infinite mana. Get all your mana back and more. I'm gonna go kill this Viego. High mobility things. Is that Maokai trying to play dumb for Viego to come or something? Is that why you're just doing that? That's a tanky boy, ain't he? Alright, and now we would get our Axiom Arc. And then you would just get your Grudge, and then you would get some more Lethality items. The fact that you don't need to get Mana Immune, and they kind of just, you know, set that in stone, that you don't need Mana Immune, is very interesting. Oh, well, there's the game. Well, either way, boys, I hope you enjoy. I hope you have some fun with Kayn. I'm definitely going to have a lot more videos, so make sure you drop a like and sub and stay tuned. Future videos. Peace out, YouTube.